And Group I of the World Cup has officially started. The first game we'll be talking about today is, of course, France versus Senegal. Before we get to any breakdown of the game, any tactics or whatever, the first thing that I saw that caught my eye was initially Deschamps starting a formation of Dembele at cam. Obviously, I thought in my head the initial first team I'll see for France would be Dembele right wing, Michael Olise cam, Mbappe striker, also Desiree Doué left wing, or Mbappe left wing, and then Marcus Thuram up front as a natural number 9 to occupy the center backs and allow Mbappe as many 1v1s on the left side as possible. But Deschamps said, scratch that, we're going to go Dembele cam and Michael Olise right wing. And at the beginning of the game, it looked like France weren't not ready to play, but they didn't want to be there, right? Everything was so lackadaisical. Everything was so sloppy. There was no conviction in their passes. There was no intensity in their passes. Some of Mbappe's touches were left and right. Even with them playing lackadaisical, France still had a few chances to get on goal against Edouard Mendy, right? Mbappe early in the first half, or in the first half, gets a ball from Dembele, and his touch is bouncing behind them, right? A showing that maybe in this first game they weren't full strength or 100% ready, right? And what we saw Senegal do defensively is they initially went for a high press, right? In the off ball formation, they went for a 4-4-2. Emile Sarr and Nicholas Jackson pressing high up the pitch, and they were trying to nullify France's attacking force, right? Whenever Diouf and Diate were one on one against Desiree Doué or Michael Olise, we saw Papa Gay and Kamara initially double teaming them, right? Trapping them on the outside to make the pass back to Theo Hernandez or back to Kunde, even to Rabiot or Chouameni hard, right? And that in that first half, it looked like Senegal were the more potent team and the team more in control of the game without having the ball as much, right? And that showed in their counterattacking play. The Senegal's counterattacking play with Ismail Sarr and Nicholas Jackson was elite, right? Obviously, they don't score, but counterattacking Nicholas Jackson finally gets a breakaway, a breakthrough at goal, hits the post, hits Mike Mignon, and on another day that might hit Mike Mignon and go in, or forget hit Mike Mignon, he might not hit the post and just it goes in, right? Uh, Ismail Sarr, if we could talk about Sarr for a second, he was very intense with his running, and whenever he got the ball, he went one on one with Theo Hernandez as much and as quick as possible. Right? He said, "Yo, I am fast. I am confident that I am faster than Theo Hernandez. I've scored multiple goals for Crystal Palace. I can beat this guy." Right? And he was going at him. And when was it? After after he got told to go off the pitch for a minute, and he was rightfully frustrated, which I still don't understand why he had to go off the pitch for a minute. He was rightfully frustrated. He comes back on, and he's immediately attacking. He's immediately at back at the game, and he was due to score at the end of the first half. Right? He was due to score at the end of the first half. 51st minute, a little bit into extra time, the guy gets a beautiful cross from, I believe it was Sadio Mane or Diouf, and disguise it. Opens his foot, disguises it when that should be a simple tap to the bottom left. Obviously not a simple goal, but still, somebody an attacker of Senegal's level should be putting that ball in the back of the net. And after Senegal, or in the second half, Senegal come out where the things that I praised about Senegal, their midfield and their pressing was still fine, but their midfield was not as potent as they were in the first half, right? And going into the second half, France had a lot of questions. Mbappe is not looking the best, right? Their best performing players are Upamecano, personally, who I thought had a great defensive game, Desiree Doué for a little bit, and Michael Olise, right? Those were the three best performing players in that first half. And in the second half, I'm thinking, okay, let's try a Ryan Cherky, let's try somebody else, right? But Deschamps says no. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move Michael Lisa into Cam to get him the ball as much as possible, right? Because obviously, yes, Dembele is a great player, but on the ball, Michael Elise can offer more passing wise, can offer the more dribbling wise, and is more comfortable with getting the ball with a midfielder on him when Dembele is more comfortable with getting a ball with a centre back on him, right? So after that, Michael Elise, the second he gets in those camp spots, finds Mbappe not instantly, but finds Mbappe for a pass. Mbappe's shot gets saved by Mike Mignon. No, Mike Mignon. By Edouard Mendy, sorry. Gets saved by Edouard Mendy. And we can slowly see France starting to pick up pace, starting to continue to go. And that goes until the 66th minute where Michael Elise on the right side jinks a man, finds Mbappe in, in a run on goal. First time touches it out. First time finish across Edouard Mendy. Edouard Mendy 1-0 to France. Right? And after that, I'm thinking, okay, France is finally back. They're comfortable, they're attacking, and they're set on their play. Right? And then they keep going, they keep attacking. And then the substitution that I thought would most likely been a third substitution or maybe a fourth substitution, but the first substitution that Deschamps saw was I'm gonna bring on Bradley Barcola for Dembele. Boom. Initial 1-for-1 replacement, where we see Desiree Doué come out to the right side, we see Michael Olise stay in camp, and we see Bradley Barcola go all the way out to that left side, where he is just one-on-one against Diate, and he's giving him hell with that speed, right? And you can see it with his initial, I think his first touch, instantly in the game. Rabiot with a beautiful pass to the midfield, and nobody on that pitch would have caught Bradley Barcola in on goal. And my biggest question about Bradley Barcola has always been his finishing. But he silences all the haters. And the guy does a beautiful finish, chips it over Edouard Mendy to no France. Right? And then now it's basically the dying embers of the game. Senegal are trying to get back into the game. They're slowly going for attacks. We see Diouf throwing crosses. We see Sadio Mane. They're trying to get the ball to Sadio Mane as much as possible. They even bring on Iliman Ndiaye for a little bit of flair because we know how technically good Iliman Ndiaye is. But it's Ibrahim Mbaye, the PSG product, the 18-year-old who gets on one-on-one against Theo Hernandez, goes past Theo Hernandez, and has a very powerful strike, but it's not to a corner. It's not up. It's not up high for Mike Mignon to make a hard save. It's directly at Mike Mignon. And what does Mike Mignon do? He basically parries it into the goal, right? And that's a mistake of Mike Mignon that France cannot see now, at least. But Mbaye gets the goal, and after that goal, they immediately pan to Mbappe, and Mbappe telling the guys, "Chill, let's relax." And what does he do? It does exactly right after that. Michael Elise running through the midfield, two Senegal defenders behind him. One of the Senegal defenders taps the ball, falls rightly to Mbappe, turns around, takes a touch, first time finish. Almost goal early goal of the tournament contender with that one team goal with Australia, and of course, and obviously Messi's first goal, I believe, that he scored today out of his hat trick. But Mbappe, this guy is unreal, right? Even though I didn't think Mbappe had his greatest game in the first half, but that second half was Mbappe. Him and Michael Elise, or in my opinion, Michael Elise was the guy running the show, creating the chances, but Mbappe now I think France's all-time highest goal scorer and is now 2 goals away from Miroslav Klose to be the World Cup #1 goal scorer, right? What more can we say about Kylian Mbappe? And to move on to a game where I didn't know much about Iraq, and I didn't really watch many of the qualifiers, so this is my first time really seeing Iraq, and obviously this is Norway's first World Cup since 1980 something, and this is Haaland's first ever World Cup. So I had to watch this game. So first off, the first thing I've seen is obviously Norway have have obviously been defending in a 4-4-2, right? With Soloff and Haaland high, pressing high, but attacking wise, they're going Soloff right wing, which is he's fine there, but okay. I was thinking maybe they might attack in a 4-4-2 like most other teams do when they have two strikers or they have two gifted attackers like a Argentina or maybe even like a France. Sometimes we see him and Dembele and Mbappe switch up to a 4-4-2, but it's fine, right? And I had a lot of questions about this Norway team. Obviously, I I want to see a good Martin Odegaard performance, right? I've been a guy that's been very critical of Martin Odegaard at Arsenal, and now that he's at Norway and you don't got to worry about the English media and English press, and this is your first World Cup and you can get comfortable, this is more what I want to see from Odegaard, right? With the 41 pass attempts. When's the last time you see, when last time you saw the guy have 41 pass attempts, 55 touches? The guy is slowly getting comfortable with a more playmaking role, less and more than what he does at Arsenal. But to not talk about Norway the whole time. Iraq surprised me a lot, right? I came in this game not knowing many of the Iraq players, not knowing much about Iraq, but I was very shocked about how great Iraq played in that first half, right? Initially, I'm hearing guys talk about Ali Hussein. I'm hearing guys talk about Al Hamidi. I'm hearing guys talk about um, Ali Ahmad. I'm hearing the commentators speak about these guys. Oh, these guys could be good. These guys could show a performance, but the whole team played great, right? We saw them press high. We saw them attack well, right? We saw them press high. We saw them attack well, and the combination of Ali Hamidi and Hussein when they were going against the Norway center backs, where one would go forward and Ali Hamidi would drop back as Hussein would go forward and allow the guys to create space, right? And the way that they were attacking the wide side of the area, because they're like, okay, we have, even though Norway have a lot of attacking aerial threats, okay, we have confidence in our attacking aerial threats. The amount of balls they whipped in and successfully, their goal comes from across, right? Their goal comes from across. Ali Hamidi back post, dunks it down. It makes the game 1-0 for Iraq. And I'm thinking Iraq has the power to at least not win this game. I never thought they could win this game, but I'm thinking maybe a 4-2. I'm thinking maybe a, a, a 2-3, a 3-2 to Norway. Iraq having a great game. But that's enough about Iraq. Norway, Erling Haaland's first game. Erling Braut Haaland finishes the game with a brace. And this was a real Haaland performance, right? You saw the pressing and you saw the way Iraq tried to defend Norway was by making sure that Odegaard and all their midfielders didn't have time on the ball in the middle to service Haaland, to get the ball to Haaland. Because that's the biggest thing when people talk about Haaland is you need to stop the people from getting the ball to Haaland, and all this guy needs is one chance. And this first goal comes from service from Wolf, where uh, Antonio Nusa on the left side, a beautiful talent by the way. We have. I don't want to talk about the Man United because the World Cup is going on, but Man United, please open the bank account, sign Nusa. This guy is a dribbling phenom. Please, can we sign him? But he's on the left side, draws the full back. Wolfie overlaps to him, whips the ball back post. Haaland, and who's there? No, none other. Mr. Consistent, Mr. Goals, Erling Braut Haaland taps it in. Right. His second goal comes from a mistake. Iraq center back does a very slow and weak pass to Hassan, the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper gets the ball, and now Haaland, he's thinking, let me have the goalkeeper make a reaction, make something where he has to make a mistake. And what does he do? Presses him high, goalkeeper makes a reaction, he puts the legs out, deflection, 2-0 Norway. Right? And even when that second goal came in, Iraq was still very heavily attacking and very heavily willing to try and go for another goal when it was 2-2, right? In that second half, Norway gave Iraq a lot of space on the ball, which I was very confused about because I'm thinking, you know these guys can score on you, and I don't think giving them space and time on the ball to even try a long shot or a pop shot outside the area would be a good option. But it goes on, and Norway successfully get their third goal, which I believe was the third goal. I think the third goal was a header back post, I believe. So no, it was a header back post. It was off a corner. My bad. Third goal comes off a corner. Simple as Norway puts the goal away. And now, after that, Iraq kind of lost its intensity. One of their players had a head injury, and the game kind of slowly just ran away from them, ran away from them. The fourth goal goes in. But to talk about that, if Iraq somehow, or if Iraq can play the same way against Senegal, this group, they could have a chance to even get third in this group. There's a real chance, right? And my biggest thing is, will Norway play the same way against Senegal, where they give them the ball and have them break them down, or will they try and have the ball and control the ball as much as possible? Maybe Senegal might not compact the midfield and make Odegaard's job as hard as it was, but mostly that's it about that game. But one more game I want to talk about, even though I didn't watch it because man got to sleep in that. Leo Messi hat trick. The guy's 48. The guy's what, 38? The guy's 38, man. Is Messi still the best player in the world? Physically, no. Right? Obviously, physically, no. Right? When you're the greatest player, like when you're the best player in the world, everything is with you. Your physical ability, your technical ability, everything. Right? We all know that. But this guy, uh barring him losing a leg, him being on crutches or being in a wheelchair, he is the most technically gifted footballer the world has ever seen. Until some human in the distant future gets born and is better than Messi, but until then, he is the most technically gifted footballer ever. Right, and I'm a Ronaldo guy, and I love Ronaldo. But when I see this short Argentinian man on the ball, I I can't do nothing but just be happy to watch Messi. Right, Messi with the football in his on his feet is just a joy to watch. Right, this isn't a breakdown of the Argentina game. This isn't a breakdown. I didn't really watch the game. I don't really know what happened. But what I can say is Messi, 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 and you can't speak about Messi without the synonymous of Portugal played today. Haaland scored a brace. Mbappe scored a brace. Messi scored a hat-trick. Cristiano Ronaldo, what are you going to do for us? But that's it. That's the match review for today. We will be back tomorrow for a Portugal match review and an England match review. Stay tuned to that. If you have any opinions or thoughts about the game, please drop a comment. If you have any suggestions about other videos I should make, drop it down in the comment as well. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you, man, in the next one. Deuces.